Hi, my name is Voya and welcome to My Deep Guide. Welcome to part 4 and the last for the conclusion of the in-depth review and guide for the Remarkable 2 paper tablet. Here we are, and it's the conclusion time. And as usual, I want to start with the negatives and then positives and then a summary. So, what are the bad things about the Remarkable 2 paper tablet? Well, first of all, I want to make a very important differentiation here, which is most of the negatives, and there's plenty of them that I'm going to list up, don't have actually a lot to do with the actual Remarkable 2 device itself. They have more to do with the Remarkable environment and software development decisions or pace or whatever it may be. However, first I'm gonna mention one very important one, which is currently August 2020, there is a bizarre limitation introduced, and that is that you can register only one Remarkable device per account. Now think about this. A lot of users, Remarkable 1 users, have pre-ordered and are awaiting their Remarkable 2 devices. Some of them, granted, have sold it off, but there's certainly a decent percentage of people who might want to keep both for a little while, and there's definitely a couple of people who want to use maybe Remarkable 1 at work, Remarkable 2 at home, or something like that. But if you plan to do that at the moment, that's not going to happen, because the first thing that you have to do, as you've seen in the unboxing video, is that when you fire up the device and when you log in, you have to deregister your old device and then register the new one. And that, I think, is baffling. The only possible reason for forcing such a serious limitation onto your users can be laziness. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else other than laziness. And you don't have to actually reinvent anything. There's dozens of models that function, and off the top of my head, it's something that we talked in the Facebook group as well. It's the simplest one of all, which is that each file has a checkout status on the server. So once you start working on a file on a device, that file is checked out and is inaccessible to anyone unless it's checked back in. Job done. I mean, I really don't understand how can you possibly launch a spectacular new product that you've worked on for such a long time hardware-wise, and then just like, nah, you can't really do that. Let's just like impose this huge limitation on our users right from the welcome screen. That's a big no-no as far as I'm concerned. As far as hardware negatives go, I think there's only basically 3 as far as I'm concerned. First, and the biggest one for me, is the storage capacity, and I've explained that at large, so you can go back to the storage section and review, but the claim of 100,000 pages and the available space, and basically that not being a viable claim, I think is a big problem. And again, this could have been solved very easily. I am guessing that the reason why they stuck to 8 gigabytes is because they wouldn't have to change their entire cloud and server structure. Because if you suddenly introduce 32 gigabytes of storage space on Remarkable 2, then you know what, the Remarkable 2 users would need to have 32 gigabytes of cloud space? Well, no. You could have, like, off the top of my head, the simplest, laziest solution of all would be like a shared folder, which has a limitation of maximum holding 8 gigabytes of data, and only that folder is synchronized with the cloud, and the rest is available to you to store and organize however you want. And this is just like, I just kind of am spitballing here as I'm talking to you, and I am absolutely certain that if you sit down and actually design something, you can come up with a pretty much better idea than what I just said. But even this would have been better than the current limitation that we have. So that's a big negative as far as I'm concerned. The second negative hardware point, I think, is the battery size. While the 4.7 millimeter thinness is truly impressive and it's something to behold, I am not dissing it. I absolutely love it. I wouldn't have been opposed to the tablet being a little bit thicker, let's say 6 millimeters, not the thinnest in the world, but still quite thin, but that it actually had maybe 4,000 or 4,500 milliamp battery, so that you can actually get maybe 30 hours of writing instead of 14 hours of writing on it. That I think would have been a good thing. It's not a huge deal for me, but it's just a personal preference. But as it is now, I think it works, but I'm pretty sure that with active use, you're going to be closer to 7 to 10 days of active use and not those 2 weeks that's actually being claimed in the promo material. Now, the rest of the stuff, I think, is mostly software related, and it's not really the Remarkable 2 device's fault. So I really feel obligated to do that because I love this thing. I really love it, and it's so amazing, but the negatives piss me off deeply, and I think they are insulting to the magnificence of this device, that what it is and what it represents. But the negatives must be addressed because they can be fixed. That's the positive. So let's find the positives in the negatives. But first we have to address the negatives and offer constructive solutions on how they can be solved. And I hope that I've already done that in throughout the review, but let's summarize them all and things that I think are important that they come into the Remarkable environment so that the Remarkable 2 can finally become a complete user professional experience. So, first of all, I think that you have to be able to plug in the device via USB into your computer, and it has to become readable as a USB device on your computer. That's a given. I really think that that has to happen so that you can give your users the ability, especially the users who cannot use your cloud system because of restrictions in the office or anything like that, that you at least give them an option to manage things locally so that you don't have to bypass all things and all that kind of stuff. Like, why overcomplicate these things? Yes, the cloud is awesome, but give us the option so that we can use the device if we can't fit into that mold. Don't push away your users with such silly limitations such as those. Because users will then say, well, okay, I would really love to use Remarkable, but I can't. So therefore, I have to go and use something else. That doesn't seem like a good business logic to me, because you're simply pushing away customers unnecessarily. So USB visibility and connectivity as a drive, I think, is a must. The limitation of the OS system that I talked about with that the 1001 notebook exposed. Now, let me just be very, very clear. I don't think that's a realistic scenario at all. I really seriously doubt that anyone, even the most avid Remarkable user, will reach a notebook, a single notebook having the size of 1001 pages. So that's not the point. But the point was stress testing the OS and actually seeing how it can handle the situation when it runs out of resources. And as it is now, it can't handle it. It crashes severely. And that's a hole that needs to be plugged. All of the things that I mentioned regarding the reader. So the reader, I believe, needs some great amount of TLC, tender love and care. We need to have proper handling of formatting on EPUB so that we can actually use bigger books, technical documents, for example, and things like that. We need to have better formatting of PDFs. We need to have bookmarks. We need to have highlights. We need to have notes. We need to have searchable notes. We need to have searchable bookmarks, editable bookmarks. We need to have all of the things that I've talked about. They are sorely lacking in this environment, and they are a completely unnecessary limitation that has been artificially imposed on an otherwise absolutely stunning piece of engineering and an amazing device. So it's as if somebody is purposefully pulling the handbrake and pressing the brakes on your brand new car, and I don't understand why that's the case. I hope they lay off the brakes and that they actually give us free rein so that we can fully enjoy the device, because it is a spectacular device. So please, please, I beg you, let us enjoy it. Don't force us to go look for other things. You have an amazing thing here. Just get out of the bubble that you're currently in and let us have the most basic reader capabilities and functionalities. It's going to be so wonderful if you do that. I beg you. Yes, I am going to list it as a separate negative, the trash can functionality. However, I've trashed it long enough, so I'm not going to drone on, but yes, that is a negative point. Here's one more severe negative point software-wise, and that has to do with the notebook itself. First of all, you can't search your written notes, and you can do that on the Onyx Books platform. Now, if you are pushing forward that you are a dedicated note-taking device and that's why you neglected the reader capabilities, then you need to kick butt to all of the competition. And currently, functionality-wise, Onyx Books has the functionality that the Remarkable 2 doesn't, and it should. It absolutely must have it. And that is being able to search your handwritten notes. That's a very important thing. As well as stamping with the dates, bookmarking your notebook and all those things. I mean, those are things that are really, really important. Is there anyone there listening? Hello? I mean, come on, people. Get there, because you have an amazing thing here. The hardware team pulled off a freaking miracle. This thing is spectacular. And the software team has just like tied an anchor around it and threw it into the sea. Why? Make it kick ass. You can do it, and you should. The other limitation currently present in the notebook itself is that if you are drawing on multiple layers and then you start using the transform selection tool, unfortunately, the transform select tool affects only the current layer. So if you have a multi-layer drawing, you can't really just select and transform and move them. Maybe I'm wrong, but I wasn't able to find the way how to do that. So please, if I am wrong and somebody has managed to make that happen, let me know, because I draw a lot and that's pretty much a big limitation for me, and I would love to know how to do that. And if that's not possible, then yeah, roll up the sleeves, and we need that. That needs to work. As far as the hardware stuff goes, some people won't like the whiteness, that it's a little bit too dark. And if you thought that Remarkable 1 was too dark, then Remarkable 2 is going to be too dark for you as well, because the whiteness of the screen is exactly the same. However, there's a small caveat here. The readability on the new screen is better than on Remarkable 2. So I think that it reads better than Remarkable 1. It's a little bit sharper, the contrast is better, and it just is a bit more crisper and cleaner. But the darkness itself, if that's what you're looking for, it's the same shade of gray. And of course, as I mentioned before, if you're looking for a backlit device or a frontlit device, Remarkable 2 isn't it, and that's simply going to be a big negative for some people as well. Another software and environment related artificially imposed limitation is the inability to add your own templates and sleep screen and all that kind of stuff. Basically, inability to customize device and make it your own. And I am going to continue asking that question as long as it's not being properly implemented, because the device deserves it, the users deserve it. We love the devices that you guys make. Why won't you let us make them our own? I mean, isn't that a huge compliment that somebody loves your device so much that they want to spend time to create a dedicated graphics, a dedicated template that they can share between the community? Wouldn't the templates actually explode the community even further? I mean, those are such opportunities that are artificially limited, and I really don't understand why. And I believe very strongly that they need to be a part of this environment, that the device deserves it, that we as users deserve it, and I'm gonna continue droning on until that's being properly implemented. And no, my guide that I made for that, that's just a hack. I am not interested in third-party apps, I'm not interested in hacks. This needs to be a natively supported feature by the Remarkable environment. So that's something that I'm very much looking forward to, and I hope that they actually finally implement that soon. I also think that the left-handed mode should be able to kind of flip by 180 degrees. I think that we should have a landscape mode when you're reading, that it should be a landscape reader so that it can actually, for PDFs especially, so it functions like a Kindle, that you can actually swipe next and it moves down the page, and swipe next, you go over to the next page, etc., etc. It would just immensely improve the usability of the device, and it would just kind of bump it up a lot. It would be really good to actually also have the even a rudimentary control of contrast would help out when you actually use technical documents, PDFs that are not of optimal quality, that are maybe pale. I mean, that's something that the device should help you with so that you can use it as a professional thing, so that the device is a tool that helps you and tells you, yeah, the document you got is not that great, but I can help you out. Currently, it's bleh. Again, no reason for that, no reason whatsoever. It's not simplicity, it's not distraction, it's functionality. And finally, as a whole package, I think mainly regarding the flipbook cover itself, there's two negative points. First one, of course, is the no auto sleep and wake up functionality, which is really weird. I mean, he's continually sleeping and not waking up and that kind of stuff. But that one's not such a big deal. As I said, you can power it up and it works. However, as a whole package, at 640 grams, it's a little weighty. So that is not a problem for me because it's okay. I do definitely feel it, but it's okay. It's not a deal breaker. However, it could be a problem for some people. Alright, bad stuff out of the way, so now I can focus on the stuff that I really want to focus on, and that's actually the positives of this amazing device. And this thing, as I've said, is, I truly believe, a masterpiece of hardware engineering and design. The way that all of the decisions, I think, as far as the design itself and everything here, are so good. Yes, there are some faults, as in for left-handed people, and some slight missed opportunities, but overall, just as a thing, I think that the impression and the impact that this device has on a person is truly profound. The thinness, the robustness, how hard and heavy this whole thing is, and everything about it, the tactile feel, the round edges, all of it, it's just simply spectacular. And it's not something that just goes away. I loved Remarkable One design and I really praised it, but this just elevates it to a whole new level. The manufacturing, the thinness, and the quality, build quality itself, and the choice of materials and finishing of those materials makes it an incredibly pleasant tactile experience. So it's something that's very pleasant to use. It's something that you really want to use all of the time, and it's something that actually inspires when using. I find myself that I keep flipping over the device when I'm just thinking about something, or just getting lost in the details and the shapes and the curves and just how it is. I want to trace it with fingers to get to know every nook and cranny and to kind of basically get to know the device, and I don't know, I really, really love it. And if that hasn't been obvious by now, yeah, you get to form an emotional bond with this device. So at least I do, because it's something that I haven't had an experience to this magnitude before. This device totally won me over. The hardware design and the decisions that went into the actual tablet design and manufacturing and everything, it's just something that makes me very, very happy and inspired when using. Tactile and audio feeling when writing is absolutely incredible. It is such a new degree. I mean, it's nothing completely new, yet it basically goes through that barrier that we've had up until now of having visible latency that actually creates a little bit of a disconnect between what you're writing, drawing, and the device itself. However, while this is still barely perceptible, but it is there, it is so small and it is so fast that, as I said, it tricked my brain on more than one occasion. And as a result, the tactile feel, the sound, the resistance of the surface here, the pressure sensitivity of the pen, how the pen feels in the hand, it's a very immersive experience. And again, I'll say it, even the writing experience as well, and the feedback is very inspiring. Another thing that makes you want to spend more time with the device and use it even more and love it even more. Latency on this screen and the contrast improvements that they've made has been raised to such a degree. As I mentioned, I started rubbing the screen. I physically forgot, my little brain forgot that I'm writing on a piece of technology with a digital pen and not on a piece of paper with a graphite pencil. So that I find completely amazing. I've never had that happen on any device before, and literally be surprised, like, why isn't this smudging? That to me is an incredible achievement. So for that alone, I absolutely adore it. I love the improvements on the pen as well, especially with the eraser on the back, but more importantly for me, it's the tactile feel again. Primarily the 4096 steps of pressure sensitivity now in the pen, they do make a very noticeable difference and improvement in the writing experience and drawing experience itself. The material of the pen, I really love both pens, and the balancing, how it actually is in the hand and how it works, I love that as well. So I think it's a huge improvement as well as far as the stylus goes. And last but certainly not least, I could do this again and again and again and again and never be bored. The whole package, the usage experience as a writing tool, is absolutely stunning. And as far as everything goes, like when you pack it all together, the tactile feel, the writing feel, the sensitivity, the improved sensitivity of the pen, the balancing of the pen, all of it make it that the Remarkable 2 currently is by far the best writing device on the market, and not by a small margin. This time is such a huge margin that the competitors who haven't been able to even catch up to Remarkable 1, I don't see how they even stand a chance. So I truly believe that because of all of those things, that the Remarkable 2 has a really good chance of becoming a new standard for digital note-taking. Remarkable 2 paper tablet is currently the best note-taking device on the market by far. Nobody can come even close, and if some of the note-taking improvements such as written note search is improved, then it's going to be even better. If all you are looking for is primarily a note-taking device, it's a complete no-brainer, because this is the new standard. Nothing compares. And now I have Sinead O'Connor in my head. However, if what you're looking for is a more complete and versatile experience, and that you actually really need the ability to disconnect from the cloud, to have your own control locally on the files, and more importantly, to have good control and good functionality for the reader side of things, both EPUBs and PDFs, then unfortunately I have to recommend something else, because currently this one is simply not good enough as an overall device. I really hope that I am able to make an update video by the end of the year where I'm going to be able to retract this statement and where I'm going to be able to recommend this device as an overall awesome device, because I think it deserves it and I think that it has potential to achieve that. However, as it is now, as an overall encompassing device, you need to look somewhere else. As a note-taking device, by far, hands down, the best thing in the world currently. So I think that the Remarkable as a company, as far as the hardware and note-taking device goes, have done an absolutely outstanding job. And I think it's going to take a long time, maybe even several years, until we have another device that's going to be able to actually compete with what the Remarkable 2 brings as a note-taking device. However, it would be a very sad thing and a completely missed opportunity if the software environment is not taking a little bit more seriously. And I think that the spectacular job that the hardware engineering and design team have done deserves equally spectacular effort and job from the software side of things as well. This device deserves it. Currently it doesn't have it. Let it inspire the software side of the Remarkable development team as well. I truly hope it does, because this has potential to be something amazing. I am not gonna say it, I'm gonna say amazing. All right, I hope that you enjoyed the video and I hope that you enjoy the content, but fret not, there's plenty more to come. I'm gonna need a little bit of rest because these past 2 weeks have been undescribably hectic, pressure and everything is just way too much. I'm trying my best for it not to show, but I am feeling it. So I need a tiny little bit of a step down, but I have big plans as far as Remarkable 2 videos are in question. So I'm planning to do a series of short videos, of how-to videos, tips and tricks, and all of these kinds of things, so that you guys can actually have a really nice experience here on my deep guide regarding the Remarkable 2 paper tablet as well, so that when your Remarkable 2 arrives finally, that then you are equipped and you know what to do. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for the support. If you like the series of videos, please like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you get notifications about the upcoming videos, Remarkable 2 and otherwise. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!